Hello, welcome to Overbooked Booktalks. My name is Kari. I am here at the Mount Airy Branch Library, part of Carroll County Public Library, and I'm so glad that you could join me today. With Overbooked Booktalks, I give you just a brief introduction to a book that I've read recently that I think will make a great book for discussion. So whether you're reading this book for yourself, alone, with a family member, with a group of friends, since we can't have book clubs in person right now, I want to give you some really great reading suggestions so that you can discuss on your own, either virtually or distanced outside with a close friend. But all of these books make really great group reading experiences, or by yourself as well. So the book that I'm going to share with you today on Overbooked is called Yoke. It's by Mary H.K. Choi. It is another YA book, so a young adult book we have here. You'll see the call number has the last name Choi with the Y here. This is the third young adult book that I've shared with you on Overbooked. I know a lot of times people are under the impression that writers for children or stories that are for children or younger adults aren't as complex or well written, but that is not at all the case. They are sometimes a little bit shorter. This one is just under 400 pages. It's 385, but as you can see, it's a little bit more spaced out. The words are spaced out on the page, so it's not as thick of a read, so it's a little bit faster. You can see this cover is super gorgeous, and I just happen to be matching it today accidentally. So this book is about two sisters who become estranged but then have to meet again. So I'm going to read you a little bit from the inside publisher information, and then I'll kind of give you some of my insights about the book as well. But just fabulous, really great book. All right. Jane and June are nothing alike. June is 3 years older, a classic firstborn narc with a vile finance job and a soulless apartment, according to Jane. Jane, on the other hand, is an emotionally stunted, self-obsessed crybaby who lives in squalor, has egregious taste in men, and needs to get her ass to class. June's words. Once thick as thieves, these sisters who moved from Seoul to San Antonio and finally New York don't want anything to do with each other until June gets cancer and Jane becomes the only one who can help her. Flung together by sickness and bound by family secrets, will the sisters learn more about themselves and each other than they're willing to confront? So Yoke. So the book is written first person from the perspective of Jane, who is the younger sister. She's 3 years younger. And they kind of have this typical sibling relationship as far as birth order. June, the older sister, is kind of type A, an overachiever, perfectionist. There's this perception that she's super successful and kind of living this perfect life where she's making a lot of money and has this really expensive apartment in New York. Jane, who, like I said, the book is written from her perspective, the younger sister, is, again, personality type is kind of more carefree, fairly self-destructive. She's a very flawed main character, likable and understandable, but very flawed, which makes this book a really realistic read. It is fiction, realistic fiction, and just really, really great. The reason I chose this book, it's been really, really popular. It's a really great read, and it reminds me a lot of a couple of the books that were published for adults that we've covered with Overbooked Book Talks as well. The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls, and The Vanishing Half. All of those books, which are fantastic as well, are really deep dives into family relationships, kind of your perception of others and yourself, and resolving kind of family history, or not even resolving, but an inspection of family trauma and past and how you come to be yourself. So the main character, Jane, she does suffer from bulimia, so that's one of her self-destructive habits that she deals with. Again, that reminded me a lot of the Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls, that plot line there, and their connection. But there's information, it touches on immigration because they're daughters of Korean immigrants, and kind of fitting between, like, where you fit between two cultures and with your family. It touches on the healthcare system because June, I don't want to give away too much information, but this isn't a plot spoiler, but June, the older sister, has gotten sick and needs attention, healthcare attention. So it touches on our healthcare system here in America and some of its flaws. But it's just such a really, really great introspective book. It is definitely character-driven story. It's not a super fast-paced story. It's very, again, I keep using the word introspective, but it's really like a deep dive into yourself, your perception of yourself, and how you came to be and have your personality, as well as the others in your family and the others around you, and how all those puzzle pieces fit together with your family history. So just a really great discussion book. So I really highly encourage you. Here is the author at the back, Mary H.K. Choi. This is not her first book, even though I love debut novels. She has short story collections. She has done lots of writing for different magazines. She's done comics for Marvel and DC. And then she also has a couple of other novels that were New York Times bestsellers as well, Emergency Contact and Permanent Record. So definitely check her out. I think she's definitely, if you haven't read her yet, her writing is really unique and incredible. If you're a grown-up and you haven't checked out a YA novel yet, definitely check this one out among others. They're definitely worth the time to read, and I hope you enjoy it. There's Yoke. Thank you for joining me for Overbooked Book Talks. I hope you have a great day. You can put this book on hold in physical form here at the library. We still have express pickup. Or you can just pick up a hold like you normally would. So we do have slightly limited hours and slightly limited capacity at our library branches, but you are still welcome to come in person as well to the library branch. Just go to our website to place a hold, www.library.carr.org. And thank you and have a great day.